Hello.
Start the show, Billy Blair. Start the show.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is the fifth episode of John and Ben's Bacchanalia here on where me and Ben are recording.
Yes, that is John. I am Ben, and we have on the show tonight. Who are you? Speak up now. It is your turn.
I'm Joseph Davis, best friend to John and maybe also Ben. I don't know how he.
I'd say so.
Me.
I don't know if we're really best friends because you won't tell me I'm pretty.
No,
tell me I'm pretty, Joe.
No.
Tell me I'm pretty.
No.
Well, we have more important things to discuss.
I was about to say that.
Speaking of which, mainly Kanye West.
Yes, tonight we are doing, maybe this is a little early for like our fifth episode, but hey, we don't care. Tonight is the crazy, spectacular Kanye West retrospective here on John and Ben's Bacchanalia,
in which we'll attempt to discuss all of Kanye West's album at some length.
Yes. Believe me, it won't be that hard for me because I spend at least 2 hours a day just thinking about Kanye West.
Do you have time set aside for this?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's weird.
It's shower, breakfast, Kanye.
I mean, anytime I'm not with someone else, or there's just a blank look on my face, there is an 85% chance that I'm thinking about Kanye.
Well, John, what do you think about Kanye in this time relegated to Kanye?
I think that Kanye is the closest thing we have to God currently alive today.
And how do you mean that? Is he worshipped and adored?
Yes. Have you not heard of the religion of Yeezianity, of which I am an adherent?
No, I haven't heard of that, John.
I don't think that's...
We have our own Bible now. Somebody took the book of Genesis and rewrote it with Kanye West taking the place of the boring old Judeo-Christian God.
That seems a bit sacrilegious, John.
To whom?
Just to, I guess, Christians.
Well, I'm not really concerned about that because they're following the inferior Jesus when they could be following the superior Jesus.
It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, Joe, you actually just listened to almost all of Kanye's stuff. What do you have to say?
I very much stick to my guns where I really like his first 3 albums, and then it's all kind of downhill from there.
And those are, what is it?
College Dropout.
Late Registration.
And then Graduation.
Graduation, yeah.
And then probably, depending on who you ask, that's the order of, his 3 greatest albums. But you can probably interchange, College Dropout and, Late Registration, depending on your taste. But
yeah. I think there's a little bit of controversy about whether or not Graduation holds up as well as some people think it does.
I really like Graduation.
I don't think it's a bad album at all. I'm not even disagreeing with you guys. I'm just saying from what I've seen amongst the Kanye fandom, there's a bit of controversy about whether or not Graduation really holds up compared to the other two, especially when you have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which a lot of people think is one of Kanye's best albums.
Having just listened to it, I can say that it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was. I don't think it would be top 3 though, because I don't like a lot of the mainstream stuff, and then they had way too much Rihanna and Nicki Minaj in it.
That's pretty good though. I mean, the verse, the Monster, Nicki Minaj's verse on Monster is really great.
Hey, let's take this down for a minute and let's move through this chronologically.
Okay.
When we get to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, we'll talk My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. But I don't want this.
And then the yelling will ensue.
I'm fine with that.
Like I mentioned to everyone before, I am drunk right now. And I might hit someone should their opinions prove offensive enough to my delicate sensibilities.
And you, listeners, will be able to hear the fight live on the internet. You can place bets as to who will win, me, John, or Joe. So
I feel like we should sample Migos' Fight Night right here.
I don't know.
Stick it right in there. We'll do that. Don't worry, guys. Well, it's quite the sneaky one.
I think we should wait until the fighting ensues. But.
Okay, all right.
Sneaky.
So, commencing with College Dropout.
All right. So,
There's a 13-minute song about him just fucking riding Jay-Z's dick.
Really? What is that one?
It's the last one.
It's like the
last call.
It's like, yeah. Like, here's to the rock. and then it's just...
I mean,
like,
it's not quite as like explicit a dick ride as Big Brother is.
But it's pretty ginormous.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
It's so...
Well, how recent was College Dropout?
College Dropout was 2004.
So did the Blueprint 2 come out in 2003?
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a huge Jay-Z fan, actually. Anyway, I'm going to just come out and say it right now. College Dropout is actually my personal favorite Kanye West album.
Yeah, it flip-flops for me. Like, I would like go between those two.
Yeah.
And his next one.
And the really cool thing about the College Dropout is that if you kind of know anything about the history of the genre, it really did kind of change the scene. Like, pre-College Dropout, things were very much dominated by the 50 Cent, like, gangster rap kind of thing. And Kanye West really brought alternative rap to the forefront of the genre for the first time in a really long time. And it really kind of changed the game for the time it was.
And also, like, didn't he bring soul samples as well?
Yeah, I mean, the soul sample is pretty much, I don't know if Kanye invented it, but he's definitely the one who popularized it. And it's one of my favorite things about him as an artist.
What I find really intriguing about Kanye is that it's like really apparent in this first 3 albums, I'd say, is that he's just really self-aware and like really like, this is what I am, you guys can take it or leave it, and like just the fact that he like really puts himself out there, that's what I like kind of identify with, because he's not necessarily like the coolest guy or whatever, and like he says that all the time in his album, and that's why he writes JC's nuts all the time. But
because Jay-Z is the coolest guy ever, which is why he's married to Beyonce and we're not.
And so he's just kind of, you know, he just really, and he's not like into himself as he is like in his like he is now, where he's like, he thinks he's God and whatever, but he's like into himself to like kind of almost like I am. Like I just like tell everyone to shut the fuck up because I know what I want, and fuck you guys if you don't want anything different.
Well,
it
sounds like he just got more increasingly like that as the albums went on. But it's interesting that you note that he just started out almost like in a sort of subdued version of what he is.
I mean,
now.
I mean, the thing is, like, you know, even as being as a Kanye fan, like, Kanye today would never do a song like Last Call or like Big Brother Off Graduation, where he's literally just talking about how much he admires someone, or like how he totally credits everything he has to someone else helping him. Because that's
what really like really spoke to me. It was like, hey, this guy, he's like not just like being an asshole and rapping about like fucking bitches and
get money,
getting drugs. But then, like, when he does do a song like that, he will like go out of his way to like make a line about like, "Oops, sorry, I did this again." Like, that's the beginning of like Breathe In, Breathe Out with Ludacris. He's like, I gotta apologize to Mos Def and Kweli. And it's just like, I don't know, but it's such a good song because he's like, I guess I'll make this song with Ludacris. And yeah, oh god.
So, what are some standout tracks on this album for you guys? Favorite track.
I don't.
Roses is on Late Registration.
Yeah, Roses is on Late Registration.
So many antis. We could have an anti team.
Don't know if it's a good line or a terrible line. It's one of the two.
But John, is that why you like it? It's like his debut. So
kind of. That's definitely a part of it. Part of it, this is the album that really got me into hip-hop music, actually. That's another reason I really love Kanye, is that Kanye's actually the artist who got me into hip-hop.
Nice.
Yeah, so this was the first like hip-hop album that I really listened to and really, really loved. And so it holds a really special place in my heart, especially because at the time I was listening to it, I, too, was a college dropout. I took a year off of school, and so some of the themes on this album really resonated with me.
Joe, are you okay? Is everything all right?
Joe appears to be having a seizure.
Yeah. Maybe he was looking at the track list and forgot how many songs he liked, and so then he had a seizure.
That might be what it is. I do really, really like Workout Plan, just because it's so stupid.
It's Workout Plan's a dumb song, but it is gloriously dumb.
Slow Jams is really good. I do like Get 'Em High, because it has like two of my favorite rappers of all time on it, besides old school Kanye.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff.
I like Jesus Walks because I think I heard it on the radio and then I looked at this album. So that, and somebody did a presentation on it in my theology class. So
okay, that's kind of cool. That's definitely not quite something I would expect for where you went to high school.
Yeah, I mean, somebody did it, and it was a convincing presentation. So
They did a presentation for theology?
It was for, like, junior year theology.
That sounds like something in junior year theology. Where it's just like, yeah, we're just going to make shit up all class.
That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, I think I'd go between Get 'Em High and All Falls Down. I can't.
Okay.
Actually, I forgot Two Worlds was on this.
Joe's got really upset about this. He can't handle this.
You can't even. No, but I don't even know. There's just a lot of good music on this.
UOENO.
Saying consonants and syllables. Vowels.
Okay, Ben, what about you? What do you think your favorites are on this one?
I like St. Jesus Walks. Definitely. What's it, that one?
Ah, yes, that one.
That one. I like School Spirit as well.
School Spirit's a fun song.
From Aretha Franklin. So.
I do. A lot of his music on this album is like it's like him playing with like different skits and stuff. And
yeah.
So it like almost makes it like, I don't know, like sort of a play or something, and that's what it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's like a really
It's a very coherently themed album.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there a song where he says where he quotes the Beck's Loser? There's I'm a loser, so and the teacher said I'm a loser, so I said, so why don't you kill me?
Oh yeah,
I think so. I can't remember the song off the top of my head, but I think.
Said I was loser, so why don't you kill me? I know the song, I just can't think of the
actual title right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that fits with this album. So.
But yeah, it's Kanye West.
So, you guys want to move on to number 2?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more familiar with Late Registration than this one, honestly. But
well, for me, I think that Late Registration was really Kanye taking what he did with the College Dropout and really kind of refining it. Like, it's very reminiscent of Late Registration, and kind of some of the loose ends on the College Dropout are really tightened up in Late Registration.
Yeah.
On a side note, the Wikipedia article for this album is fat.
It's pretty fat.
Yeah, it's one of the fattest ones I've ever seen. I think it's fatter than a couple Radiohead ones. So
this is one of the fattest I've ever seen.
That's unrelated, listeners. So.
Anyway,
this is like a 3 out of 10 fats.
That's not that many.
No, that's a lot of fats.
I'm confused.
It's incrementally.
Yeah. See. Okay. So this is the album that Summer Work Grant, we used to bump this while like cleaning classrooms, awesome. And we would just play it on loop. And I just heard him say "Touch the Sky," "Gold Digger," just "Diamonds from Forever," "Roses."
This is definitely like Kanye's like most classic album, I think.
Yeah.
Like this is definitely the one where like when people are talking about like the great Kanye tracks.
Yeah.
Well, especially people like Joe who tend to be more into the old stuff. This is the album that they go to.
I actually usually go to College Dropout.
Okay.
Honestly, but Late Registration, I don't know. Like I said, it flip flops, but it probably is my favorite one right now.
It's my second favorite.
Right.
Like I'll say my ranking is a little more stable, but it is my second favorite.
I say it's got like probably like the highest highs for Kanye, but then like also has some like
the lowest lows.
Not the lowest.
Not the lowest lows, but
it's got some low.
There's
low
some
lows,
bad moments.
Like what? Like speak to me. What?
Celebration.
Celebration's real bad.
Celebration is probably, for me at least, it is probably my least favorite Kanye song.
It's pretty bad.
He's not even rapping good on it. Like,
and like
it's pretty bad.
Honestly, I think there's a distinct moment where we were listening to this in cleaning, and then the dude whose I put it was just like, I'm just going to skip this. So I think we skipped to Gone. So,
you know what this is?
It's a celebration, bitches.
Grab a drink, grab a glass.
After that, I grab your ass.
It's not even good rhymes.
That's great. The kids.
It is almost a fun, like, so bad it's good track.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Because, like, compared to, like, Kanye's other, like, kind of misses, none of them are quite this fun after this.
Yeah.
Any standout tracks for you guys here that you want to talk about in depth? Or?
Touch the Sky.
Yeah, and like
absolutely.
And I feel like Touch the Sky, at least for Lupe, was like the biggest he got. Like I know he's still doing good and putting out albums.
I mean, in terms of mainstream success,
yeah, okay.
No, Kick Push when he actually put out the like Food and Liquor and then did Kick Push. That was like
all right.
That was all over everything ever.
Fair enough.
There's speaking of Kick Push, there's an unreleased King Turkish remix of Kick Push called Pig Kush.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. So you should check it out. Check that out on SoundCloud. It's King Turkish. But anyway.
If it's not as good as the original, I'll cry because that's one of my favorite songs ever.
I did not know you were a Lupe Fiasco fan.
I love Lupe Fiasco.
Oh wow! No, you never mentioned it before, so I didn't know.
He's probably in my top 10.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, and also just Drive Slow.
Drive Slow's a real
Drive Slow's a good song.
And the only reason I know this is because of good old Michael McLaughlin, who told me that Drive Slow was actually like in the top 40 when it came out. And, you know, it's funny because Kanye sort of like was unconcerned with placing singles until the most recent stuff that he dropped, I'd say.
Yeah.
And maybe like some on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but Yeezus, there's like no concern for the radio at all.
I think that, again, we'll talk about this a little more when we get to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but like I think My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was like Kanye attempting to manipulate top 40 charts.
I mean,
like just with sheer power.
But I mean, he plays top 40 and Drive Slow, so
you dropped a song title in there.
I did.
Wow, you're so
I think John didn't realize it because this happened earlier when he was dropping Kanye titles without realizing
I
it.
drop Kanye references all the time without realizing it. My favorite track on this album, I think, is actually "Hey Mama."
Oh, you're so cute.
Again, as someone who like is not only a fan of Kanye as a musician, but also like enjoys following the story of Kanye as a human being, it's very hard to talk about Kanye without talking about his mother and his relationship with his mother. And this is definitely probably the song that really sums up how much he loves his mom and like how instrumental she was to his like development as a person and a musician.
Well, like all throughout these first two albums, like you really get like what a family guy this guy like he is.
Yeah,
because he like he will totally like go out of his way and like just like kind of make like drop some
family stuff,
family love in there,
like
just
Roses. Yeah, this is about him visiting his mom.
Right,
Roses,
grandma.
What's the song in College Dropout that's like him talking about like family? All the glitters, like is that?
Oh yeah. College Dropout.
Oh man, I can't believe I don't remember this title now.
That's what it's called.
Okay. Oh, cool. Okay, good. Yeah, that's another one where he's talking a lot about family and
Oh, Family Business.
Family Business. There we go.
Called,
yeah, it samples something that's about all the glitters.
All that glitters is not gold. All the gold is not reality.
Make rain go away. The sun comes out and all the children say,
Hey!
God, Ben, you're a terrible child. You're so bald. Children have hair.
Just that way I can blind you when the sun strikes the right moment.
So, anybody else have any closing remarks they want to say about late registration?
Late registration is real good, and it should be something. All right, good.
Yeah, guys,
Good stuff,
check that one out.
Yeah, next time you're cleaning some floors and mopping some shit, you should.
You're in summer work study,
Or
and
You're making
go for it.
you're making 200 sandwiches, and you have nothing else to do. Listen to some good old Kanye West.
Early Kanye West.
All right.
What is next?
Graduation.
Graduation.
The
So
closing of Kanye's college trilogy. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
shout out to Greg Pfister, who was graduating SLU High School and was like, "You should listen to Graduation," and so then I did, and it was great because I was graduating. So
Also, shout out to Paul Pfister for being Paul Pfister and amazing.
I don't get
really, shout out to all the Pfisters. So.
Yes.
whatever.
Sorry if you don't want to be mentioned in public on this podcast.
Whatever. What in public on this podcast?
It's on the internet, dude.
Whatever.
Anyway, graduation.
What to say?
It's good.
I mean, it's good. I'm gonna be honest. It is not my favorite Kanye album.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Well, I am extremely biased to this album.
I know
because
Tell them the story.
John knows this.
All right, yeah.
But when I was a wee laddie, I had a very very selected like.
He only had like 3 albums on his iPod.
I had 5 CDs. No, physical CDs. I did not have an iPod until like way later in life. And so I had 5 CDs, and I grew up with them like almost all of grade school. So it was graduation. It was the Gorillaz Demon Days. It was Black Eyed Peas Monkey Business. It was Black Eyed Peas Elefunk. And then gosh, what was the last one? I always forget. It was clearly
I mean,
It wasn't that important.
That's not a bad rotation.
No, it wasn't bad. Oh no, and the last one was Danger Doom by MF Doom and Danger Mouse, which was given to me by my older brother, who I am eternally thankful for, because
that's a really good album.
It's ridiculously good, and for someone who like that was like their emerging taste in music, like it was like Danger Doom, like really really good Danger Doom, like MF Doom, and like everything else kind of just sounded like shit. So like for a while, it was really hard for me to like actually go and like listen to other CDs, because it was like, that's so good. Like, how can you even compare it? And like even a lot of MF Doom stuff now is like, it's like, I don't even like feel like I can compare you to like other rappers, because you just
yeah,
so
like
many.
I don't know if you listened to, he showed up on this Ghostface Killer album, and the best part about his verses, I think he's just making fun of Ghostface Killer. Like the first thing he says is, I think it's on Ray Gun, is "as if," and then he goes on to like debunk the entire thing that Ghostface Killer had said up until that moment. So.
MF Doom's a cool guy.
We should do the next one I'm on. We should do MF Doom.
I'm down with that, but that might be like a double episode
That
thing. 'Cause
sounds
we
good.
got to cover like all the alternate personas as well.
He's got way too many things going on.
But yeah, that should come in installments.
That'd be good.
Yeah. So anyway, with Graduation, like I think it's still a good album. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from the fact that it's a good album, but I honestly feel like this is Kanye at his most like poppy.
Yeah.
Um,
Because
and like least experimental. Like I feel like this is a very safe album.
It's because she's gone through too much bullshit just to mess with those drunken hot girls.
But he's also looking at other things, like Stronger has the Daft Punk song on it.
No, there's some great tracks on this album. It has some of my favorite Kanye tracks. Like I love Stronger, Deeper Cuts. I love The Glory. I love Big Brother. Honestly, even though it is just Kanye
Honestly,
dick riding Jay-Z.
Honestly, Good Life is good, even though it has T-Pain in it.
Yeah, I liked Bittersweet Poetry is a really great song, even though it's just a bonus track.
Yeah.
And then there's Barry Bonds.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think
Barry Bonds is so good. If only Lil Wayne was not on it.
No, it's not even a good song even without Lil
Listeners,
Wayne.
if you haven't heard Barry Bonds, one, it was mixed to like really strangely. Second, it's about just Barry Bonds being awesome.
It's true.
Third, Lil Wayne kind of ruins it.
Lil Wayne does ruin it.
Anyway, I think that it also, because of songs like Barry Bonds and the atrocious Drunken Hot Girls,
It was real bad.
I think that this has some of Kanye's like real low moments.
I don't understand how Most Def was like, all right, fam, put me on that shit.
I assume it was like a contractual obligation or something. Like not that him and Kanye wouldn't put out a track together, but like Mos Def was just really busy that month.
He's like, he's
I just
on
gotta...
every other CD though too. Up to that point, he's on at least one song in every other CD.
No, that's what I mean.
He's like. That one. It's like throwing darts at a board. All right, let's go. And then Most Def's like, fuck.
He just didn't even hit the dartboard.
It's like this is a dartboard with all the good songs and Drunken Hot Girls is the area surrounding it, and he just hits Drunken Hot Girls, and he was like, fuck. Wow, 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 that's how the fuck you sound. That's John's theme song.
No, it's not.
Oh, but it is.
I don't know. Flashing Lights is going to be my favorite, old Kanye song.
Really?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
I mean, it's glitzy.
It's a good choice.
It's glamorous.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
it's definitely kind of a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Especially because Flashing Lights, and then we have on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy the track All of the Lights.
Right, which is two parts. So,
essentially the actual song.
Yeah, so.
Yes?
My favorite is probably... I don't even know. Oh, Most Def is on another bonus track.
Oh.
I don't know if I've actually ever heard that song, but...
Okay.
He actually hit the dartboard, but they took it away.
They were like, no, this bonus now. No, Mos Def, you must suck.
I love Most Def too. He's top 10.
Oh yeah, Mos Def's great. It's just the record execs on that album were like, no, you have to be terrible on the track you're on.
You have to. It's the rules.
You were contractually obligated. Capitalism.
I like Champion a lot. Real hot.
Yeah.
It's probably between Champion and Good Life. Yeah, that's good.
For me, it's definitely either The Glory or...
I forgot The Glory.
Glory's a great track. Especially, it's one of the few albums that kind of is a soul sample.
Yeah.
It's very much harkens back to College Dropout Kanye, and I appreciate that. And I also... I really enjoy, like I said, I love Bittersweet Poetry. I don't know why it's a bonus track. That song is good enough that it should be replacing Barry Bonds or Drunken Hot Girls. So 1 second here, guys. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hello, listeners. We have returned.
Yay.
All right, guys. So we are currently on the 4th of Kanye West's discography. The controversial 808s and Heartbreaks.
Otherwise known as Kanye is sad.
He's real sad.
He's very sad. Like we kind of talked about a little bit earlier, you know, Kanye has a very strong relationship with his mother. And in the interim between graduation and 808s and Heartbreak, his mother died of complications during surgery.
Yeah.
And this album is very much Kanye being sad about that and also sad about the relationship he had been in for several years ending.
That's a whole bunch of sad.
Yeah, this album is very sad. And
all the sad.
it shows not just in the topic matter of the songs, but also the fact that Kanye leaves behind kind of the musical stylings of his previous 3 works, which are all very happy albums,
Yeah.
I think. And kind of does this very strange techno electronic R&B thing.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of rapping on this album. It is mostly Kanye singing with autotune.
Yeah.
It's very cold.
It's very like alien.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a
weird as
weird
fuck.
album. Yeah. That's the great thing about Kanye is that no matter what, he's always experimenting, even if it doesn't always work out.
I don't remember Pinocchio's story.
Oh, dude, it's just him, like, rapping live, and it's not good.
There's a really creepy music video
Oh.
that never actually got released.
It's really weird.
Yeah, it's
And you
really
don't
weird.
wanna
It's like
see
him
it.
singing to mannequins.
It's weird.
Yeah.
You don't want it. You
Anyway.
don't want it anywhere near you.
Anyway, so this was kind of coming out like when autotune was really just starting to heat up.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like T-Pain was real big and shit, and
Yeah.
then, like, he started making his own albums, and then kind of was like, you know what? I can do that.
And he
I
could,
don't know
because
how to do
autotune's literally ain't something anything can do.
But I feel like
Kanye managed
Yeah.
to do it in an artistic way.
Yeah.
Well, and he also uses autotune later in a artistic way, if you can
Yeah.
use autotune for that. But
I mean, again, I think that the use of autotune on this album, again, it highlights, like, the themes of, like, artificiality and, like, alienation that are so key to this album.
It's very true. This was the first album I got after getting an iPod. In case you were wondering.
How did that go? How did young Joe feel about 808s and Heartbreak?
808s and Heartbreaks. I
Especially coming out Kanye West being such a keystone.
I actually did listen to it a lot. I don't know if I liked it all that much.
It's an easy album to listen to, even if it's not necessarily an enjoyable album.
Right. It's like it's one of those albums that I feel it gives you a lot of feels, and so like you don't want to listen to it too much. It's like Radiohead in that respect. It's like you don't want yeah, a little bit every now and again is all right, but I don't want to listen to that for too long, or I get the downers
and depressed.
I get real depressed. But yeah,
It's okay to feel sad sometimes.
shut up.
As John pours himself another drink.
I feel sad all the time.
Yeah, we know.
That's a good point, though. And, I mean, Heartless, just the song titles alone.
How
And
Love
could you be
Lockdown.
so heartless?
It's pretty, I mean, I like that song.
RoboCop.
What is-
RoboCop's a fun song.
what is Welcome to Heartbreak? I don't remember.
I don't know. It's actually been a while since I've
Yeah.
listened to 808s and
I don't
Heartbreak.
remember that
I
song.
think the last time I listened to 808s and Heartbreak, that I was actually driving around with you, and we'd gone to get a drink or something that night, and you were
That's
like, "Hey, can we stop listening to sad Kanye?"
That sounds like something I would have said.
That sounds like a really...
Because like it was the only CD because like I was driving my mom's car that night. It was like the only CD I had in there, so we'd like listen to it like 2 or 3 times already. That night.
I think I do remember that. Yeah.
That sounds like a
It's
really
when we went to
genuine...
Taha and got tiki drinks.
That sounds like a really genuine John and Ben moment.
A lot of genuine. Me and Ben always have genuine moments.
It's amazing.
So, any standout tracks you guys want to talk about on this one? I feel like you kind of like touched on a couple, like just as we've been talking.
See, I think this album establishes that Kanye will do whatever Kanye feels like.
Yeah.
And even if that involves making a gloomy kind of like shitty sounds on purpose album. So.
Well,
I don't know if it's shitty. I don't know if describe it as shitty.
I don't know if it's...
Well,
it's not like bad on purpose. It's just weird. Okay. It's like... This is not him kowtowing to any kind of popular expectations.
No, it's not necessarily his best album, but again, it's like actually him.
Yeah,
like being him, and it's not. That's what you can argue as much as you want, like that, like Kanye now, like with Jesus and everything. That's him now, or whatever. Like I think him is like his first album. Like
I think that this is the most personal Kanye record.
Well, and that's probably why I could stand to listen to it like so many times. Is because like it's actually like a real album.
This is definitely a point of departure between like Kanye kind of being himself and kind of beginning to foment like what I kind of think of as the character of Kanye West that has kind of been the driving force between his last two records.
Yeah.
Make of that what you will.
Right.
Ben, you have any final thoughts?
I like what Joe said about Radiohead. I feel like the comparison is apt.
I agree. I'm guessing Kanye was actually listening to some Radiohead when he put this out, because there's definitely some artistic similarities.
For should we move on to the next?
Yeah. 1 second here, guys.
Slow, homie.
Hey everyone, we seem to have a small error in the editing room, and the following conversation is about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Meanwhile, Tom Blood, who is just in from England, is performing some industrial background accompaniment. So please enjoy. We're sorry for the error, and enjoy the podcast.
We love you.
They had different people on to do a different verse.
I mean,
and it didn't really change the song at all.
I get what you're saying, but I don't get why that's a valid criticism of this album.
No, I was saying that's what got me off of.
Okay.
And like going back and listening to this,
But like the actual first,
it's not necessarily as bad as I thought it was. But
because you hadn't listened to this in whole, right? You just
I just heard like
bits of a couple
I'd heard what was played on the radio because that was all over the place, and then I like judged solely on that. I did not like it, and so I went back and listened to it like rather recently, and then like went back and listened to it earlier today, and was like, oh, well, I guess it's not so terrible. But, I mean, definitely parts of this do really, really, like, kind of emphasize, like, what I didn't like about rap at the...
Yeah, it's, like, all about the performance, and it's, like, too much, like, and, like, about how he's, especially on Runaway, about how he's, like, a conflicted audience. And it's extremely meta-emotional, and he's just, like... oh, I'm an asshole and you're reacting to me and I'm feeling emotional about that, and you're supposed to feel sad for Kanye that he has such an effect on his audience, and it just seems kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I think you guys, I'm not trying to be rude, but like, I think you guys are missing a little bit of the subtext, because I feel like this is an album that is almost kind of parodying, like, the things you guys are talking about. Like you said, this is an album that's all about, like, excessiveness and, like, just taking things to, like, a ridiculous level.
But if you're, like, by trying to parody something, you, like... I feel like it kind of got lost in translation.
That's possible.
Like, I understand where you're coming from, and I can see a lot of it, like, for being that. But then at the same time, it's definitely kind of seems to me like, oh, I'm going to try to do this, but then at the same time, like, without me knowing it, I'm going to actually become this, so therefore my life is just kind of one big lie.
I get what you're
like
saying.
John's life. Yay!
I am not a person. I'm a piece of performance art. Stop talking to me like I'm a human being.
Well, I mean, is Kanye a piece of performance art on this album?
That is. I think, like I was saying, like I said about kind of the 808s and hardware being the dividing line between Kanye, the artist, and Kanye, the art. I think post 808s, I think Yeezus and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I think Kanye is very much performing for us. He is playing the character of Kanye West. He is playing, the best way I have seen it described is, you guys know what the term heel means?
No.
It comes from professional wrestling, but basically it's somebody who pretends to be like a bad guy in order to kind of get a love it or hate it response from the audience.
Huh.
So Kanye is acting like a total dickhole, but it's because he knows that it's polarizing. It's because he knows that no one is going to be neutral about this version of Kanye West. People are either going to love him or people are going to hate him, but either way they're going to be talking about him.
And that's ultimately the goal.
That is ultimately the goal on this album, is to be noticed.
Like, as smart as that is, like, I didn't actually pay attention to him for years now because, like, I was like, oh, I heard one song and I was like, this isn't what I wanted, and so
yes, but at the same time, Joe, you were making it very clear, talking to me, that you were not fond of the new Kanye, and that you.
That's because you continually brought him up.
I'm just saying, it just shows that the love it or hate it response was ingrained. You were not neutral. You were in a negative position.
I wasn't in a negative...
You were in a negative position.
Negative position, not against him, but against, like, what he was, like, trying to get into. It's not like It's not like I was going out of my way, like, oh, fuck this guy, I don't want to fucking do with anything. It's just grumble. It was just like, no, that's not what I'm about, and John's going to continuously bring this up to make me seem like I just fucking hate everything that's ever been in existence ever.
Well, hate a lot of things.
Yes.
It's not totally my fault.
The dishwasher has something to say.
Yes, Tom?
Is it or is it not true that Kanye is merely taking part in the restless, never-ending process of profit-making alone, which is how he aims to be Kapital in and of himself?
Yes.
Kanye is turning himself into Kapital.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, Kanye has turned himself from an artist into art.
Recently, not to jump ahead, but Kanye's been selling shoes. He's been selling other products.
Which is really, really gay.
Kanye has created the brand of Kanye.
Exactly. That is a large part of like the modern rap scene, is creating a brand, not just being a rapper, but being a brand in and of oneself.
But that's kind of like my big issue with a lot of music nowadays.
The question is this a Warhol art factory?
I don't know.
Well, because
I would argue, I don't know if it's a factory in the same sense of the Warhol factory, just because Kanye is not like doing what Warhol did and like bringing other people into the project.
Really?
The same
because
way?
that's exactly how Ben described.
He does
him
bring
flying
He
in.
brings a lot of people in, but it's not. He's not
flag.
bringing in new people and like giving them a place to like speak their mind. Like he's bringing in other famous
isn't that
artists.
what good music is? Like his label.
I mean,
Good music, but he hasn't done anything.
but there's so many
that's
people
what it
on this
was
album
for a while.
Okay.
I think Tom makes a good point though, in that a lot of Warhol stuff is about like reproductions of the same image that you're just like deadened by them. It's like you've seen this so many times. Like, this is a slightly new way, but at the same time, I'm going to do it 4 more times after that.
I honestly feel like, that's kind of what Kanye did when he made his own label, was like, oh, these guys are kind of similar to my sound, I'm gonna fucking train them in my image and shape them. And then,
Well, like, are there any particular people that have like guest features on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy?
Not so much on Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy,
I
but
think most
the
of
Cruel
it...
Summer compilation album that was put out a few years ago, which features artists that were on Kanye West's good music label at the time. People like Kid Cudi, Big Sean. I want to say Travis Scott was on there.
I feel like he makes it more apparent, like when he's like a guest on their songs,
yes,
as opposed to like when they're actually on his shit. It's like mostly like, no, fuck you guys. This is mine. You stay over there.
You know, that brings up an interesting question. Whose song is it in the McCartney, Rihanna, and Kanye collab? Whose song is that?
That is complicated. That is a tough question.
I haven't actually.
It is on Rihanna's album, so like, technically,
is that 4 or 5 seconds?
Yes, 4 or 5 seconds.
Because he doesn't really. He's there. I think he whistles on All Day and plays guitar. He has more of a prominent appearance on All Day, but not on the big pop single, which is 4 or 5 seconds.
4 or 5 seconds, he's playing the guitar the whole time.
Yeah, but like he doesn't like in All Day. At one point, the song stops and it's just Paul. You're like, okay, that's Paul. You know, like he's not in the background. Like,
okay.
It's not Paul playing the guitar. I thought Paul was.
No, he is. But like the reason I said it is because in All Day, it's like the song stops for him. Mm-hmm. So. And in 4 or 5 seconds, he's just kind of there. So, but yeah,
I think do you guys think we've kind of exhausted My Beautiful Dark Twisted
Well, I mean, we haven't really talked about the actual music. Let's just make a quick reference that there's like there are soul samples. There are a lot of really great guitars in this album. On Runaway, he actually uses autotune as sort of like an instrument.
There's some interesting bits on here. There's a very strange interlude on the track, Devil in a New Dress, with Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Talking to Kanye's ex-girlfriend, Amber Rose, about who got her pussy reupholstered.
It was...
answer, Yeezy got her pussy reupholstered.
Yeezy did.
It actually it makes me really uncomfortable.
It's very...
Despite that it's very funny. Yeah.
It sounds like on Django, when it's like, oh, Massa did this, and Massa calls it the big house because it's big. It sounds exact. No, that's what it sounds like. Like every time I hear it, I was like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
But two favorite songs on this: All of the Lights interlude, not the actual song, like the piano bit and
the
everything.
cello.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, when we were listening to that, Ben made me stop the song so we could figure out if it was a cello or a violin.
Well, because John didn't care. Yeah, I think John should care whether it's a cello or a violin.
That's funny. And then The Devil in the New Dress.
Dishwasher thinks so too.
The Devil in the New Dress is real good. Like probably the best song on this album, I think. Even though it has Rick Ross, it's probably
Rick Ross still has a really good verse.
It's one of the best like Rick Ross verses I've heard in my entire life.
Kanye, that's the good thing about Kanye. Just
quick
interlude. He can get a good verse out of not good people.
He's like, here's the essence of your being. I'm going to put it into this one verse and fuck you.
I mean, again, it's like one of my favorite tracks on this album, Monster, gets probably the best verse of Nicki Minaj's career out of her.
That's true. I still hate the fact she's on that song at all, though, and it makes me throw up.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if I'm going to go that far.
The way she goes from sort of like helium Nicki Minaj to like Cookie Monster growl Nicki Minaj is pretty impressive.
She does very swiftly navigate through her musical personalities.
She has a good flow. I mean, I'm not a huge fan, but it's the best verse she's had in her career. So. And then my personal favorite, I know Ben's not a huge fan, but I do really like Runaway.
Well, I mean, that's what I said earlier. Runaway just feels like this weird meta-emotional kind of song.
But I like that. I don't know. Maybe it's one piece of art to another, kind of thing. But
yeah. Well, I'm going to pick, though, Lost in the World, and then Who Will Survive in America. With Gil Scott-Heron, like kind of like samples the Gil Scott-Heron performance and just drops it on the end.
Bubbling in the mother country's crotch.
Yeah, like Gil Scott.
Free do.
Heron seems to be talking about like freedom and how it doesn't actually work, especially with regards to America. So
let Dishwasher say this much: the revolution will not be sampled.
Yes, it will, Tom, because the revolution will be turned to capitalist means like everything else.
You're a dishwasher. What do you know?
All right, guys. You guys want to dip into Yeezus real quick? I think we're kind of getting a little short on time, but
And then,
we got to mention Yeezus though.
yeah. Okay.
I don't like
So,
this.
2013, a very punkish 40 minutes. Yeezus, Kanye has been digging the...
Very punkish 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's only like a 40-minute album.
It's funny.
It's got a lot of like Death Grips kind of inspired industrial beats.
It's it's industrial. Definitely, it is an incredibly experimental record.
Yeah, like soul samples are kind of dropped willy-nilly.
Oh yeah, I heard this described as the first post-rap album, which yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, but I get where they're coming from. Like, this is not a traditional hip hop record. Like, it does not play with many like traditional hip hop themes. But at the same time, it definitely is Kanye kind of like coming back to talking about some social issues with songs like Blood on the Leaves and New Slaves. We kind of saw some of that social commentary dropped.
The prison pipeline system, and specifically on the slaves.
Yeah, not quite so much of that on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah, I would almost feel like Yeezus is Kanye using his sort of persona that he developed on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy to make very like cutting statements about what's going on currently.
Yeah,
and especially with regards to himself as well. So.
Yeah, I mean it's songs like "Hold My Liquor" are very much Kanye. You know, again talking about himself and kind of talking about the hollow place he's kind of found his life in. This is a dark album until kind of the last track, really, which is the, in my opinion, classic track, Bound 2.
Yeah.
Which I think really kind of has Kanye rediscovering his happiness due to the person of all people, Kim Kardashian.
Actually, yeah, Bound 2 is a pretty great song because it's about his relationship with Kim Kardashian. The soul sample is extremely obnoxious, but actually ends up working, I think, with the song very well. So
Kanye, I believe I read in an interview, this is kind of, Kanye almost meant this to be kind of a parody of, like, really sappy, emotional, like...
You mean like everything he did in the beginning of his career?
Yeah, I mean, but almost kind of like more like, almost mean-spirited, I guess. Like, especially when you watch the music video for this, and it's kind of just, like, using all these really cliche images, like, with Kanye, like, fake riding this motorcycle. Like, it just feels, like, really, not bitter, but just really biting.
Yeah.
Well, and like, and also he like talks about sex a lot. For instance, at one point he just bluntly says, "I want to fuck you on the sink and then get you something to drink." So,
hold back, don't get spunk on the mink. I mean, damn, what would your Rome think?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, what do you think about this?
Because you just listened to this today, so
I don't really like it. But I mean I feel like he does a lot of like really interesting lyrical things and like points to like a lot of like you were saying, a lot of social issues and everything. But like for me at least, it's like really hard to get past like what he's doing with like the beats and stuff.
So you aren't a fan of the more industrial style kind of beats. It's a big turnoff for me. Fair enough.
So a lot of it is me, just kind of me, like,
just
like,
your taste.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get past that to like actually see what he's trying to do. But it's like I understand like why he did it with like the scene what it is right now, and like if he is trying to actually like just like be like sort of a parody of like what's going on, then I don't know.
I mean, I think you and me were kind of talking about this a little bit a couple days ago. You know, obviously Kanye is getting a little bit on the older side,
right?
Especially compared to when he started, and
right.
I almost feel like Yeezus is him trying to experiment in order to find something new to say.
Right.
Because I think he considers My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy to be kind of his magnum opus.
Yeah.
And so I think he's a little confused about where to go from here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because Kanye is in a period of transition in his life right now between getting married, having children.
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of trying to figure out where, like, he fits in as an artist now.
Giving speeches and whatnot.
Yeah. And, I really hope, I've liked some of the new stuff he's put out in the last couple months, 4 or 5 seconds all day. But I will admit, even as a big fan, I worry that Kanye is going to go the Jay-Z route and just, like, start rapping about really boring stuff because he's run of, like, important things to say. Hopefully when Swish finally comes out, it won't disappoint me, but I'm only cautiously optimistic.
I feel like that's kind of what he... this is, like, the feeling you're getting now is, like, the feeling I had, like, after, like, kind of, like, 808s and Heartbreak. It was, it's alright, I guess. And, like, I mean, there's good stuff on here, and I mean, like, it's a good message and whatever, but then I don't know, like, what's to come after this. I don't know if I'm going to be into it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of this stuff kind of just turned me off to it. And it's like, let's find new music, because I don't know if I can trust this guy anymore.
I think the dishwasher had to add something. No, okay.
But yeah,
thanks, dishwasher.
I guess that's about really all we had to talk about. Huh?
Well, I mean, I feel like if you're going to listen to Yeezus, at least check out New Slaves, partly because the first part is the sort of Kanye West making a statement about the prison pipeline system, and then the coda is this really, like, I would almost say, like, fuzzed out soul, like, just coda, and, like, Frank Ocean sings Kanye West's auto-tune.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
If you're looking for, like, just some interesting, like, new directions in hip-hop, but you're not totally prepared to, like, make the full dive into Death Grips, which I totally understand.
You should just do it. Music is nothing to be afraid of, so...
Well, Ben, I'm just trying to be understanding. I wasn't necessarily ready to jump right into Death Grips. I need to, like,
fine.
dip my toes in with Yeezus.
All right, fine,
I mean, again, it's not so much that you'll be scared of it. It's just like sometimes you just need to, like, get acclimated.
Yeah.
It's not a fear thing.
It's like you just gotta dip your balls in to make sure you're okay with the temperature, and then you just dive right in.
Joe,
it's very concerning that you're a cook.
Joe, I'm really glad for your sake that we legalized gay marriage this week, because I think there's some writing on the wall for you right now.
Dude, I don't give a shit.
You are the one who talks about balls on a very regular basis.
Okay, I think we've drawn to a close.
In closing, I find Kanye West to be like wine. His stuff made in a very nice year, and it's preserved very, very,
it
very
ages
nicely.
well.
It ages very well. But the stuff that came out in the shitty years turns to vinegar, and it really pisses me off, and I don't want to listen to it.
And induces headaches almost immediately.
Yes.
Then what are your final words?
Listen to Kanye if you are moved by this podcast. So
I'm going to leave with a 2-word ending, and that is...
Fuck you, pay me.
No. It is praise Jesus.
No.
And as we end, please enjoy this dramatic reading of Das Kapital from our very own Tom Blood.
This is in no way an endorsement of communism or communistic philosophy.
We have seen that the development of the capitalist mode of production and the productive power of labor, at once the cause and effect of accumulation, enables the capitalist, with the same outlay of variable capital, to set in action more labor by greater exploitation, extensive or intensive, of each individual labor power. We have further seen that the capitalist buys with the same capital a greater mass of labor power as he progressively replaces skilled laborers by less skilled, mature labor power by immature, male by female, that of adults by that of young persons or children. On the one hand, therefore, with the progress of accumulation, a larger variable of capital sets more labor in action without enlisting more laborers. On the other, a variable capital of the same magnitude sets in action more labor with the same mass of labor power. And, finally, a greater number of inferior labor power by displacement.